Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Big up to everyone. And good evening. I mean, it's a much later show than we usually do. Usually this is a 10 o'clock show, but those of you who watch that Champions League game, that is why we've started a little bit later today because, I mean, how could you not watch it? I mean, it was fantastic. And to be honest with you, I'm not even surprised that Inter won. There's something about that team. They've got this togetherness, this spirit. They are just, it wouldn't surprise me if they beat PSG in the final, presuming PSG do get there. I mean, for me, in an ideal world, Arsenal get there and they lose. That would be even funnier. But I don't want to give them the confidence to ever come back and actually believe they can win that competition. So let's just leave that one there. We're going to be going through all of the latest transfer news today, guys. Couple of updates, and then I'm going to put the link out. In fact, I can put the link out in the next couple of minutes anyway. So if you want to come and have a chat to me for a little bit, I thought, why not? Let's have a little call-in show. I did say I was going to do one a while back. Never happened. Why not do it tonight? So big up to everyone that's watching. If you want to jump on, you can. Yeah, it was a mad Champions League game. Absolutely. Big up to you, Jordan. Yes, a little Delap update based on what I have seen. So we're going to be going through that in not too long. I'll brush through all of the news and then I'll put the link out. In fact, I can put the link out first if you want, if anyone wants to wait, and then we'll have a chat after. So anyone's welcome to come and speak to me if you've got any questions, or if maybe you agree or disagree with something I said, you can stick it on me as well. No problem. I'm happy to have a little debate. Doesn't bother me. Yeah, with regards to what we were speaking earlier on about, we've obviously we found out Benjamin Sesko's release clause is now more than 80 million euros for the summer. We looked at his stats earlier. This is a deal that's personally a thumbs down from me. Not a fan of the deal. I don't think the financials add up. If you get him considerably cheaper, it could work. But I think when you look at the price, I went 80 million euros is 67 million pounds. And United are looking at 65 million, I think it was, for Garnacho. And I'm like, where do you get that number from? Where do you pull that? The guy's not even worth 50, 40. And you're asking me if Chelsea would actually pay 65 million. I know we've done some strange business over the years, but that is not a deal that I think we will be pursuing. I don't think we'll be pursuing that deal anytime soon. But hey, each their own. We'll see. We'll see what happens. What else? What else have we spoken about? Obviously, big up to Moises Caicedo winning the Player of the Year award. We are also in the race to sign a Feyenoord centre-back, David Hankcho. Apparently, he's 29 years old, so a little bit of experience in there, although I don't know who he is, never heard of him, so it's hard for me to praise the deal because don't really know what he's about. So if anyone watches the Dutch league, again, let us know in the chat. Also, Mike Penders as well, a little update there. From a Chelsea side, it seems like we're going to be loading Mike Penders out next season. This is fairly obvious as well. It's not something that should come as a massive surprise to a lot of Chelsea fans, but it doesn't look like he is going to be staying at Chelsea, playing first team football or playing as a reserve keeper either. Why would you want to come to a club just to not play? I mean, that's absolutely fair. Doesn't surprise me. So I don't have any issue with that. I'm just trying to find the source as well as we speak, guys. So apologies for I want to share my screen with you, but I don't want to give you the wrong source. Let's go through the comments while I'm looking at that as well. Who would your two goalkeepers be next season, Alex? I think Penders looks unbelievably talented. It's got to be Penders and Petrovic for me. Ooh. Well, you've got... This is the thing, though, isn't it? It's, what are you trying to gain from these goalkeepers? Are you trying to gain, one keeper is much better than the other one? because you know that keeper's going to play practically every game, or you're looking to have a cup keeper and a league keeper, which is what we've done this season. I think we need to go down the route of having a first choice keeper, and that's it. And then, listen, if you play against Morecambe in the cup, you can rotate. That's not a problem. But if you're playing a European game, fingers crossed it's Champions League next season, then you don't really want to have to think about which goalkeeper is going to start. You want your number one goalkeeper to play 95% of the time. That's how it's always been. It doesn't really change too much at many clubs, but obviously there are situations where you have two goalkeepers of a similar level. And I guess we're kind of in that situation with Jorgensen and Sanchez, two keepers who have both been extremely underwhelming, and they haven't inspired any real confidence from their performance since they've taken over that number one spot. I mean, Sanchez was dropped, but then brought back into the fold straight away. I mean, that was, for me, one of the big things about Maresca that I just didn't like. I didn't understand how you could do that. I mean, how could you bring him back into the fold? And that was kind of the initial straw that broke the camel's back, if that's what you want to call it. But hey, also we've got a little update from Todd Bowley as well, actually, which I didn't realize until I've just seen now. So let's quickly go through that, and then I can put the link out. In fact, I'll put the link out right now in the chat. So if those of you want to come and chat, the link is here, guys. So if you click that link, you can join. You can have a chat with me as well. Ask me any questions. Let's just see what Todd Bowley said. All right, interesting. The timing is very interesting because this comes not long after I obviously spoke with Mr. Viss about the stadium. So I wonder if that's got anything to do with it. Although it says it was at business, so maybe he was at a conference anyway. He said it's years until plans come to fruition in the making. When we originally bought the club, we agreed initially that we had 15 or 20 years to figure this out. But it is a big project in a really interesting city. What else did he say? He also said, I think everyone recognizes that a club as big as Chelsea should have a stadium that reflects the size of the club. And ultimately, that is going to be a strategic advantage. So those are the only updates we have regarding Bowley as far as I can see. But I mean, that's interesting, isn't it? He's come out and said that. He hasn't spoken too much about anything else, i.e., regarding Chelsea. So hey, we'll have to wait and see if anything else comes out. But I mean, he's not wrong, is he? These things aren't easy to get done. I don't think anyone disputes that. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. To be honest with you, Bowley does waffle a lot. He chats a lot of nonsense. So, yeah. What else have we got? We wanted to know about Liam Delap as well, didn't we? Liam Delap. Tottenham are planning on making an offer to sign Delap this summer. There is confidence behind the scenes that there is a serious possibility that they will secure his services. Now, this is reported by Give Me Sport. Give Me Sport, in fairness, actually seem to have they're doing a lot, but they seem to have quite a lot of good stuff going on as well. My evening glass of milk. I don't know the credibility. I don't know the journalist who's reporting this, so it's hard for me to sort of comment on any of that. But hey, if Tottenham get Champions League football, that's one thing they can offer that potentially we can't if we don't get Champions League. So that's the only bit of pull that they will have in this deal. We know that Everton are also interested. David Moyes has publicly expressed an interest in this striker. Chelsea have been linked with him since he was born. That's how it feels. It feels like we've constantly been linked with the guy. But I think that we would be the front runners for this deal. I think we would be the front runners. I think that our project is more ambitious than Tottenham. I mean, that's for sure. Jesus. Even from a United perspective as well, the only thing I think they can offer that we can't is probably better wages. Champions League football is another factor. If they beat Tottenham, probably will in the final. So, yeah, I mean, that's one thing. I mean, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Yeah. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Let's see what some of the questions are. We've got Amir. I'm sorry, but before I'm going to say what I'd like to say, but do we really want to get a player from a team that's bound to be relegated? I'd say get Victor Osimhen instead of Liam Delap, hands down. Fair enough, dude. Not a problem. I personally don't have an issue getting Delap. I really don't have a problem with it. Do not have an issue with it whatsoever. For me, having a player like Delap in there still gives you a little bit more than what we have this season. If you look at the depth up front, it's Jackson and Gew. Me personally, Delap is a lot better than what we see with Gew. So I haven't got an issue with it, to be quite frank. I haven't got an issue with it. It's not a problem. But I can appreciate that people are really desperate to get Osimhen. I'm in the same boat. Like, I'd rather have Osimhen, but there's my emotional side that's saying, I want this. This is what we need. This is the Chelsea way to sign these type of strikers. And then there's the other side of it, which is, you know, are we really going to actually, like, if we couldn't do it last summer, what are we going to do this summer? Like, what's going to change? And that's one of the concerns that I have, is that I don't know if the ambition is there from the top half to trickle down on the pitch and spend the money that needs to be spent on a player who can just help you. Everything's futuristic at the moment with Chelsea. And some of those decisions that were made 2-3 years ago, some of them are actually sort of shining through. There's no doubt about that. When you look at Andre Santos, when you look at Petrovic, when you look at the project that we've got at Strasbourg, these are all positive things. These are all good things. Didn't really think of it too much 2 years ago, but it's one of those situations, isn't it? So from my perspective, I look at it and I think, honestly, it doesn't bother me at all. Getting the lap doesn't bother me. Harney says, Inter was sublime tonight. Imagine Thuram in a nice blue shirt. I'd be delighted with the lap. Petrovic has to be our number one next season. I don't know why he was not number one this season, to be honest with you, mate. I don't get it. I don't know why. Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen his stats recently, but pretty sure that they beat PSG. And if I'm not wrong, they're competing with Lyon in Liga, and Lyon dropped points. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'll double check that in a second. But yeah, Petrovic should have been a Chelsea keeper this season. Like, these are all great things to say. It's like, okay, cool. He's a good goalkeeper. He's doing well. He's developing. Can't we just develop him as, like, ourselves? He would have still been better than what we already currently have. So are we not able to mix the two together? Can we not just develop some players at Chelsea? With regards to Andre Santos, though, I almost think that was the right move in a lot of ways, because there was no guarantees that he was ever going to start ahead of Fernandes, Caicedo. You got Lavia in there as well. So from his development, I can understand why Strasbourg may be the right option, or they might have thought that it was the right option. No complaints from me in that sense. But Petrovic, that was a different story. That's a totally different story. Summer was an outstanding goalkeeper, man of the match. Yeah, he did very well, mate. Really good job. Scope 6 says PSG versus Inter UEFA Champions League final, I reckon. Yeah, I agree with that. Although I said this earlier, I don't know if you were on the stream, I was saying that I wouldn't mind if Arsenal won, just say they could lose in the final. I think that would be hilarious. But in a weird way, that would give them the confidence to try and finish the job later on. And I don't know if I want to give them that motivation. So, yeah. Can't wait to see the new stadium in 2042. There you go. All about the future, guys. Is that what he said? He said 2042. Fucking hell. Or are you just talking about Bowley's comments saying that, what was he saying? What, about 20 years until they actually get things moving with the stadium? I can't believe it's been it's that long. So when Bowley was initially talking about a 15 to 20-year project, I thought that meant that he was looking to build a stadium so that it would be sort of running by that time. But it seems to be quite different. It's that we're going to have this stadium, but we're not going to do anything for 15 to 20 years. And that's where the confusion may have stemmed from. I know that Hansi Witz, when I spoke with him, he said that there's a lot of moving parts, there's a lot of obstacles. I saw a tweet talking about that, saying that it's got nothing to do with the ownership and people taking individual responsibility. It's all to do with the council, the TFL, lots of different people to do with that area that have different roles. Nobody seems to be making the decisions from one perspective. I read as well that there was a lot of objections to the current proposal that I have in Earl's Court as well. So, I mean, things take a long time in terms of planning permissions, etc. But I don't think we have 15, 20 years to wait for something like that to happen. I don't think we have that long. So when we look at it from that perspective, doesn't seem like there's an awful lot of urgency from Chelsea's side. Doesn't seem to be much urgency there at all. Inter deserve to and will win the Champions League. They have the best defense left, and defenses win titles. They have a fantastic defense, mate. But I mean, we say that. I mean, they conceded 6 against Barca in 2 legs. They had to score 6 as well, 7. Yeah, they won 4-3 today, didn't they? So, I mean, defense from that perspective, you'd say, fucking hell. I mean, it's not just the defense that needs credit. I mean, they need a lot more credit in that sense. Todd Bowley should talk about the Ticketmaster situation to come to Chelsea Football Club. Yeah, well, I'm sure there'll be more details on that. As far as I'm aware, a friend of mine did some digging, and Clearlake Capital own the ticketing software for Ticketmaster. Apparently, they will earn fees on ticket sales through the back door, and that is one of the reasons that this deal seems to be happening. This is from someone that I know that seems to be extremely knowledgeable. He says, shortly after lending Bowley 1.6 billion, Clearlake acquired Ticket Evolution, an E2E software provider to the ticketing industry that connects rights holders and resellers via data and software. Ticketmaster uses Ticket Evolution's technology in a platform-to-platform arrangement. So what will happen is, they'll be charging extra fees for use of the reselling technology. This is not like a fact. I don't actually have like a source to look at right now, but I'm just going to presume that it's true. I'm going to presume it is. Everyone wants to lap. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. I mean, I'm open to Delap. I don't have a big problem with him. I have a problem if it's just Delap, but I don't have a problem signing him. No, I don't have an issue with it. If Strasbourg get Champions League and we can't make any loans or transfers between the clubs that till after, that's absolutely right. You're correct. Alex, are you still Maresca out? I think if he gets a striker in a couple other positions and Lavia stays healthy, Chelsea could be contenders next season. No, I'm not Maresca out right now. That's not how I feel right now. I don't think this is the right time to talk about it. I've said this about other people before. Like, I'm not Maresca in by any means. I'm not Maresca in. I think that he has made some unforgivable mistakes, to be totally honest with you. And I think that, if you hear about what happened after the Liverpool game, I actually gave the guy a lot of credit. And then I found out later on that he has said that he asked the players to set up a certain way and they didn't do it. And it was working. And that's why they were doing well. And he decided not to change it because it was working. So even when I tried to give him credit, was it yesterday? Day before yesterday on Sunday. I found that out and I thought, Jesus. I mean, listen, ultimately, he's our gaffer, isn't he? He's our manager. And I support Chelsea. I want Chelsea to do well. But there's only so much that some people can take. And for whatever reason, a number of reasons, which I'll go through at the end of the season, this isn't the right time to talk about it. We can look at the mistakes that he's made and also the good stuff he's done, because he's done some very good things. But I think that when the wave effect is so strong, last season was a lot of this. All right, last season, good, bad, no consistency, no fucking momentum. We had momentum at the end of the season, but generally it was the wave effect, wasn't it? This season, it's literally been get to the top of the mountain and fall right back down. And that is a very, very strange place to be when you've been talking about having a title challenge in December, to then looking at where your club is at March, April time and thinking, hang on a second, I thought we were in a title race. Now I'm looking at Newcastle and Nottingham Forest, wondering what their results is like. So when I look at it from that perspective, I think that it's very difficult to judge. Look, I have said, like, publicly, of course, like, I know I've said it, I've hated him. And at the time I did, no doubt. After Arsenal, I hated him, hated his guts. How could you like a manager that fucking does some of the stuff that he's done, shaking opposition players' hands? Like, would any top manager that we've ever had do that? Mourinho, Conte, Tuchel, you think they do that? Of course they wouldn't. So I think that was a disgrace. On top of a number of other things, the style of play still, I'm not a fan of it. Even look at the way we beat Liverpool. It wasn't Maresca ball. It was a totally different style. But I am all for giving credit when credit is due. And Maresca deserves a lot of credit for getting us back to where we need to be. Everybody has setbacks. There's no doubt about that. Everyone has setbacks. And I consider myself to be a very patient fan. So I'm not banging this drum, Maresca out, Maresca out, Maresca out, Maresca out. I'm not banging that drum unless I really believe that is what needs to happen. Now, do I believe Maresca is the man to bring Chelsea to the levels that we want, which is challenging for winning titles, isn't it? Not just challenging. And I would say the answer is no. I don't think he can do it. I've never seen him do it at the top level. This is his second year of management. That's another problem that I have. And the third problem is the style. So we're looking at the mentality, the experience, and the style. Those are three things that I have a huge issue with when it comes to Maresca. But we'll see how we finish up. And if he does what he needs to do, then he will get the utmost respect from me, and I'll apologize publicly. I have no problem apologizing. It's not an issue. But he's got some work to do, guys. He's got some work to do. And if he plays a similar way against Newcastle as he did against Liverpool, if he does something similar against United and Forest as well, basically allowing his team to counterattack more and play transitional football, which he hates. He doesn't like transitional football, which I love. I love a good counterattack. Who doesn't like a good counterattack? Especially if you're a match-going fan. You know what I'm talking about. Sort of later stages of the game. Let's just imagine it's 0-0 or whatever it is. It's got 1-1. You're trying to get that winner. They give the ball away. A player drives. And the whole crowd gets up. But he gets past one. He gets past two. He crosses it in. Someone gets on the end of it. That is limbs. That is what football is about. And I struggle sometimes, like many fans that I know and speak to just never see that and always see us recycle possession. And, it's not ideal. But, hey, I hope he does it. I'll be glad to see him do it, and I'll have no problem apologizing. Not a problem. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Harvey said he'd love to see Delap and Palmer linking up. That would be interesting. Osman wants 340k. Where have you seen that? I have not seen that number being floated about. I have not seen that. Delap for 40 million and Jonathan David for free. Smart business. It's not 40, it's 30 million. It's great business. Fucking great business. If you don't give me Osman and you get me that, I don't have any complaints. I really don't. I do not have any complaints. If you're bringing me Jonathan David and Delap, no complaints. This is my dream window scenario. Okay, my dream. This is what I would love. Osman is one of them. He is absolutely up there. So we put him in his own bracket, and we put Jonathan David and Delap in their other bracket. I think that it's relatively even in that sense. I'd probably give Osman the upper hand just because we know he will get 30 goals. We don't know that with the other two. We don't know how they'll get on. But with both of them, maybe they could. You'd have the depth, wouldn't you? You'd have the depth. And if one of them gets injured, someone else can fill in, and you'd have different profiles. These are all arguments that you can make. So that's the striker option, which I would be happy with both. Very happy with both. Then I look at the centre backs, which for me is a huge area we need to look at. And I say, okay, what do we need? We need two centre backs. We need two centre backs, maybe three. Okay, and that's if you're looking to strengthen, not just bring in players for numbers. If you're looking to seriously strengthen. The first player I bring in is Dean Huijsen from Bournemouth, and I spend that 50 million. No problem. I spend that 50 million. I watched the Arsenal game. I thought it was exceptional. I think that he's a profile that will fit very well into this team. He'll suit Maresca's style. He's able to pass out the back. He's tall. He's an aerial threat. And he seems to be mature as well for his age. Very mature. 50 mil. I then spend 40 million on Mark Guehi from Crystal Palace. And that brings me not just a player who knows how to defend, a player who knows how to lead. And experienced at international level, one of England's best players in Europe, in the Euros, and just a solid centre back. Plus, he knows the club, he knows the background of the club, he knows the history of the club. He is a Chelsea youth product. So those are the first two centre backs. I bring in a third centre back, Jonathan Tah from Bayern Leverkusen. And I swap him and I use him to replace Tosin, who I like, by the way. I'm a big fan of Tosin. But under the assumption that we're looking to be smart here and do smart business, and Chelsea are very financially, that's what we think about. We like to think about the deals behind everything. It's not all about football. But the beauty of bringing in Jonathan Tah on a free is that you could then sell Tosin for about 15 to 20 million. I think he's probably worth about that. And I think you get that for him as well, by the way. I think you get 15 million for Tosin. He's tall. He's a leader. He's still got a number of years left in the Premier League at that level, at least. He's not a starter for a top six side, but he's a starter for a mid-table team. He was playing for Fulham. The difficult thing about having Tosin, though, if you want to offload him, is his wage. I don't know if there's necessarily teams in the Premier League that want to pay a centre-back 120 grand. He's not unbelievable, but he's decent. He's probably worth a little bit less than that from a wage perspective. So, yeah, I bring in Jonathan Tah, I bring in Dean Huijsen, Mark Guehi, and I get rid of Tosin. The Sassi's already on the way out. Fofana's injury prone. I've heard that Chelsea are open to selling him. I say good riddance. especially if you're looking at basing your whole team around him. I'm like, have we not learned from the past couple of years? He's not going to stay fit. He's not going to be available. So that's my thought process with regards to that. In the midfield, we're obviously going to have Andre Santos and Asugo coming in. We will then see what's his name? Petrovic in goal. We'll see Petrovic in goal. So there's a number of parts of this team that can significantly improve. I mean, significantly. To go from Robert Sanchez to Petrovic. By the way, if we get Champions League like with that, then Jesus Christ. I would be stupid not to think that we can't challenge next season based on some of the business that we can do that's available and out there if we have genuine ambition at this football club. And that is going down the route of upgrade on your keeper, done. Better midfield depth, done. Both of those are already done. Striker, big question mark. 2 centre-backs, again, question marks. We're being linked, but we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. Then if you're looking to add a bonus, you add a winger, you add a left-back. And if you do all of those, you've had a perfect window. If you do all of those, even with Maresca, I'd expect you to challenge for a Premier League, to be honest with you. I'd expect that. Even if I don't rate the manager, still expect that. Because it is so much better. So much better in so many aspects. Every part of the team, you go, we're more likely to get clean sheets. We're less likely to make mistakes. We're more likely to score goals. That's all you need to win football matches. And you have more depth. And more pull financially in Champions League, 30% pay rise for everyone. So these are all factors that we can look into. Do you think we need a left winger when Noni is balling on the left? To be honest with you, I'd still get one. Because we need a replacement for Mudryk if he's not coming back. So that depth still needs to be there. And you've got to think to yourself as well, what happens if Madueke gets injured? What happens if Neto gets injured? So you need cover. It's not all about having starters. It's about having competition and about having someone there if you've got nobody else. Look at our striking situation, for example. Jackson injured, Guiu injured, and we're playing Neto up top. It's not ideal, is it? Which is why I'm not opposed to Delap and Jonathan David. People go, who's going to be the starting striker? And, the other one's going to be the third choice striker. Do you think he'd accept that? It's like, well, if you're a top team and you're playing as many games as you need to play, meaning you're winning your cup competitions and competing in the league, then you will have enough minutes to go around. And there's no doubt that someone will get injured. They always do. So from that perspective, I think that's what I would do. Martin says the Osman ship has sailed. Get over it. I mean, I'm not really dwelling on it. I just think that Osman would be a good idea. I mean, do you not think that it would be a good idea? I think it'd be great. And if it's a realistic signing, then absolutely. But again, that's why I'm pretty happy with Delap and Jonathan David as well. Not individually, as a pair. That is what I would like. It's between that and Osman for me. I would be happy with both. I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't. Harney says, and Nkunku out and Delap, Osman, Gore. Oh, sorry. Oh, you don't mean all of them. You mean one of those players. I'm with you. Sesko, I don't know about Sesko. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not on the Sesko train. I'm not really on that train. This is a guy with a £67 million release clause whose stats are decent. They're good, but they're not great. And then you look at Jonathan David, who's also got really good stats, decent stats. And I can get him for £67 million less than Sesko. Patrick said he'd rather get David on a free fair play. 340k that Osman is asking for. If we get Champions League, and they will double his wages and Champions League appearances. I don't know where that information is coming from. Can someone give me a source, please? I haven't seen that anywhere. Where are Ipswich in the Premier League and where is Galatasaray in the Turkish League? then you can compare both strikers. I mean, that's like saying where Liverpool in the league and where Wrexham. Do you know what I mean? That different leagues doesn't mean that one league is, you know, the Turkish league, the standard's terrible. So I don't think that's a very valid point, to be honest with you, Amir. That's like saying where Celtic in the league and where Ipswich. I think Ipswich, I don't know if they beat Celtic, to be fair, but I mean, they could. Who knows? But you get the point. It's a weak league. It's a weak league. It's a very weak league. You've got to think to yourself, to score, what is it, 13 goals in the Premier League for Ipswich? That is good. Very poor team to perform at that level is decent. We should know that. Should have shaken down Hansi's wallet when I had the chance. Yeah. It's all contactless these days, isn't it? I have to get his Monzo. Amaya says, develop gear. We don't need Delap. Well, I say you develop gear by sending him out on loan, and then he'll get proper minutes. And Delap, for me, is a player who I would like to see at Chelsea. I would like to see that. I wouldn't have an issue with it. Santos will absolutely get minutes for us. And Martin, you don't think they'll have enough game time? I think he'll have enough minutes. I don't think that'll be a problem. I really don't. You've got to think there's so many games where I would have rested Enzo or even Caicedo, but there was nobody else to fill in. One thing I don't like about Maresca as well is his use of rotation. I think that his man management in that perspective has been poor this season. His management of Nkunku, his management of João Felix, his management of Vega. These are all players that left. Oh, sorry, two of them left in January. Nkunku wanted to leave. And I believe that was a huge part of it. So that's one question mark that I have over Maresca. We need to see next season, presuming he's still going to be a manager. I think he will. We need to see where we are in January next season. And are the players happy? And are the players being played? A fair amount of games for João Felix would have been more than just Leicester, Ipswich, and Southampton. I would find that disrespectful as a player if my manager was only playing me in those games. And then in the press, speaking about how valuable I am to this project and how much he loves me being a part of this team. I think these are all very valid points that players have. Having said that, also, I wouldn't have too much of an ego to think that I should be starting over Cole Palmer every week, because I think João Felix may be a little bit silly for presuming he was going to get that many minutes. But there are ways around it. There's ways we could have dealt with it. With all of those players, you could have easily played Vega as a centre-back, because we've had plenty of mistakes from our centre-backs this season. You could have played Palmer on the right, which have freed up more number 10 slots for players like João Felix and Nkunku, not to mention one of my personal favourites as well, which is Carney Chukwuemeka. Absolutely love him, and I hope he's a part of this team next season. No, there's definitely ways that we could have dealt with it. Definitely ways. I'll put the link back in the chat as well. I had someone that joined and then left again. It is a bit late, but screw it. If you want to jump on, you can. I don't mind. We've got 20 more minutes on the show, 20 odd minutes. So big up to everyone. Anyway, let's see what other questions we have. And if someone jumps on, then I'll let them in. Thomas says, anyone but Osman is a failure. You could argue that. Is Gorka as a failure? I'm not sure about that one. But Osman's definitely a priority. Alan.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Good to see you, buddy. How's everything?
Yeah, everything is good. Yeah. Do you think we're qualified for Champions League?
Well, right now, to be
Yeah.
honest, I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue. That's where that's where I am. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, if you ask me right now, what do I think right now, yes or no, I would say no.
Come on. Come on.
If we beat Newcastle, I'd say, all right, fair enough.
Because
Yeah,
I mean, they're taking 5 teams, right? This season.
yeah, 5 teams.
Okay, that means we have a chance. We have a chance.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we definitely have a chance. We've had plenty of chances to win games, and we haven't won as much. I mean, I would have liked us to have won maybe a few more. Then we wouldn't even have to have the conversation. But listen, we are. Oh yeah, I know, Steve. See,
Yeah.
you've got to get the light out
Can
of
I?
the way. You've got the light in the background,
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay.
hurting people's eyes. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Okay, I think you can see me now.
All good, dude.
And
All good.
then I just want to say Cole Palmer is really amazing.
He's fantastic, isn't he? He's
He's
great.
fantastic.
Do you
Yeah,
want to see him
yeah.
on the right or as a 10 in the middle?
I mean, his best season was on the right, right? Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think he can play everywhere because he can assist, he can create, he can score.
True. It is very true, man. Do you like? Is there anything else that you wanted to say?
No, I think
Or you
that's
just wanted to
it.
come and say hello.
And I just hope Maresca improves because if he doesn't, we're gonna kick him out. We're gonna kick him out.
Do you like him?
I did, but now he's on the fence. He's on the fence.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I hope he does it. I hope he does it.
Yeah.
Well, good.
All
to
right.
speak to
I
you,
love
Alan.
the streams. Please keep making more.
Thank you, buddy.
I like Chelsea fan TV after the games. They're always nice. Yeah, the street interviews.
Awesome,
Thank you.
dude. Thanks so much for your time, Alan. Cheers, mate.
All right. Cheers.
Andrew, how you doing, mate?
Oh, what's up? I'm good.
Good to have you on.
Oh yeah, I haven't been on here in a while.
Oh, you've been on before?
Yeah, with Harry. I was with Harry before on.
Oh, he did a call-in show, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember that. That was like 2 years ago.
Oh man.
That was it wasn't last season, it was the season before.
Yeah, so he was doing all the watch parties. So like I came in like when Potter was here.
Yeah.
We were losing at one point, and then Lampard came in. Then he like put all the clocks with other matches we sacked the last 2 years. So.
Yeah. Well, mate, good to have you on after such a long time. I mean, how do you feel about Chelsea at the moment?
Honestly, I do not know what the situation like. We have so many players, and who was that Academy product player that we played that got some minutes? Was it David Washington? Or was it someone else? I can't remember which player.
Say again, sorry, mate.
Which player like got the minutes for one of our Academy product got a playing time in that one game where we won.
Which game? Which game? Sorry,
I think it was Everton. I can't remember.
Everton. What are you talking about? Are you talking about the most recent Everton game?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, wait. No, sorry, I'm not following. I'm not following. Which game? Which young player are you talking about?
I think George Achapong. I don't know.
He didn't score, did he? Jackson scored against Everton.
No, I can't remember.
I'm not with you on that one, I'm afraid. I don't know which player you're on about. Maybe someone in the chat might know. Look, here we go. Lewis said to spam Poch out, so Poch out. There you go. Brendan says Tyreek George. Is that the one you were thinking of, mate?
Oh yeah, it was Tyreek George. Yeah, he's our Academy player. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, what do you like him?
Yeah. Is he gonna get any playing time?
Is he going to? I bloody hope so. I mean, I can't say what the manager's thinking. I think the manager will be looking at experience, to be honest with you. I think that will be what he's leaning on at the moment. So I don't think that Tyreek George is going to be his number one option. I also think that when I look at Madueke on the left, I think he's doing a great job. I think that Neto on the right, when we play the way that we played against Liverpool, which was being a little bit more open to counter, I think that suits him. Having said that, if you're going to go down the possession-oriented, sort of down the possession football route, then I could see maybe George slotting in on, I don't know if he'd play on the right, probably play on the left, and Noni would move over. Otherwise, Sancho. So, no, I'll be honest with you, mate. I probably don't see George playing too much, in all fairness.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my opinion on that.
Because it's a little bit worrying because like we play on the FIFA Club World Cup on the 16th.
Yeah.
And I don't know how are we going to rotate because none of these players have much European competition that are like Champions Leagues. And the only player I think can handle big games is probably Neto, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean, I like Neto. I like quite a few of the players, but I mean, we're yet to prove ourselves at the highest level, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, no,
James doesn't play that much either. That's why I like noticed. So like,
no, James didn't play Caicedo inverted instead. To be fair, so I quite like Caicedo inverting. To be fair, especially when Lavia's in, I think that's probably the best approach, even against probably against anyone. I wouldn't have any issues with that.
okay, yeah, that's fair.
Hey, well, listen, Andrew, thanks for jumping on, buddy. Appreciate it. And I look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah, anyone can jump on, guys. Anyone can jump on. So, again, I've reposted the link again if you want to jump on. You can talk about Pochettino. Everybody loves talking about Poch. Yes, you can come on and ridicule me for my opinions if you want. I don't mind. If you could only get rid of one Maresca, who are we getting in though? That's my counter question for you, Anton. Who are we getting in to replace these guys? I mean, I don't really care about getting rid of Sanchez if he's just not playing. He can stay at the club and be a brand ambassador. Doesn't bother me. You can't keep Maresca though and have him as a brand ambassador. Who do we get in though? Who do we get in? That's the question, isn't it? So I'm going to play down the whole Maresca. Look, we will see what happens, and then we can speak from there. We will see what happens. I lost patience with the guy. Full stop, point blank. Don't like him. Still don't like him. Don't see why people would like him. I see partly why people like him, but if you're just comparing him to Poch, there's arguments. There are arguments to say Maresca is a better manager. There's a lot of arguments to say the opposite, but there's arguments both sides. So that's what a lot of people want to do. They want to say, well, he's a lot better than Poch. But then the argument is then also, is Poch good enough? And if the answer was no to that, because of the way I know a lot of people feel that way about Poch, then doesn't that also beg the question that just because Maresca's better than him still doesn't make him good enough? And that's one of the debates that, I think I'll be having at some point. But listen, I hope Maresca does it. In an ideal world, Anton, if you're asking me to just give you an answer right now, in an ideal world, they both go. But listen, I'm not going to call for the guy to be sacked if he achieves his target. He doesn't deserve that. Ultimately, that's all I'm asking for here. And if he can do that, you have my respects. Don't love you, but you can. I can sit here and apologize for some of the things I've said. I don't have an issue with that. Change his tune, Maresca. I think he knows he's going. Well, I doubt that. I don't think he's going. Yeah, Delap's numbers are good, but I think if Guiu went and started for Ipswich for a season, he'd get similar numbers. That's a very interesting take. I'm not sure I agree with that. Brendan says if Lavia stays fit, our results will change massively. Santos coming back next season will help Lavia. Where do you see Santos fitting into the team, Brendan? Out of curiosity, do you think that? And if you had to pick a midfield trio, and I guess I'd allow you to put an inverted right back into that equation if you want to add that as well. What are you seeing? Are you seeing a Caicedo, Lavia, Fernandez starting 11 as our strongest lineup, or are you putting Andre Santos in that equation? And let's just presume Lavia is injured because he's been so many times. Who do you put in the squad when Lavia is injured? Do you start Asugo? Do you start Santos? If you start Santos, does that mean you drop Enzo? Like, what are we looking at there? Poch is a Tottenham reader. Does my head. Talking about him, he was not good enough. Tuchel was better than it. Oh, that's obvious. Everyone knows that. Even if Maresca turns things around, I will never trust a word he says in presses. Lying sleazeball. Absolutely, mate. He fucking talks a lot of nonsense. A lot of managers do it. But, yeah, I mean, he's no better. The last manager that we good was Tuchel. The rest are in the same basket. Trash. Stop saying Kobel. Sanchez is better than Kobel in most metrics. What? Who said Kobel? I didn't see anyone say Kobel. Well, I don't want Kobel. I want Petrovic. Rubik says Lavia and Santos will alternate depending on fitness. Which striker should we go in the summer window? I mean, the options are Sesko, Gorkarez, Delap, Jonathan David, and Victor Osimhen. Those are your options. That is the shortlist that we have at the moment. Unless Reece gets more playing time in the FIFA Club World Cup, I can see, or maybe you can play Cole Palmer in the. No? Unless Reece gets more playing time in the Club World Cup, that I can see, or maybe you can play Cole Palmer in the 10 if he stays, and Neto and Sancho play on the wings. I don't know what you mean, Andrew. Where does Reece James fit into that question? Yeah, I'm not sure I fully understand the question, to be honest. But I think that Palmer will stay in the 10, and I think that Neto and Sancho will play on the wings, definitely. Owners are the real problem. I mean, if you go down to the failures that we've had over the past 2 years, absolutely goes down to the ownership. No doubt about that whatsoever. Colwell's save percentage, 62%, Sanchez 74%. That's interesting. Nice to see the old Tommy Tuchel chant in here. Yeah, we all missed that one. Great chant that was. How good was that chant? Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, from my perspective, I think that yeah. I've just seen this tweet as well. Brilliant. Barcelona complaining about the referees, too funny. I mean, them and Madrid are the worst when it comes to the referees. It's fucking ridiculous. Honestly, they are just embarrassing. Good riddance. And I'm glad to see Inter Milan getting to the second final in 3 years. I think they deserve it. They deserve it. They're not even sitting back and playing part. They're playing proper football as well. It's fun to watch. It's good to watch. I'm seeing individuals thriving. I'm seeing a team. I'm seeing a unity. I'm seeing a fan base that's united. I'm hearing it in the stadium. That's what you want. I mean, that I'm not saying I don't see that at Barcelona because they are united as well. But I think Inter just, they absolutely deserve it. No doubt in my mind whatsoever. Another interesting metric, which I spoke about in the lunch show, I'll briefly touch on it again. These are the points tallies over the past, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Okay, 8 years. And you can see where Chelsea finished and how many points we've finished on and how far we've been off of the league champions in terms of the points tally. We have not been challenging for a league title since we last won the league in, what was that? 16-17, Antonio Conte. And that is a huge concern. When you look at these numbers, there's a genuine argument to say, and this is the argument I've heard, that Chelsea's league form was slipping very much pre-Bowley and Clearlake, everyone else. I mean, it's not wrong, is it? Look at the numbers. We finished 5th, 3rd, 4th, 4th, 3rd, 12th, 6th, 5th. We've certainly declined. I mean, the thing is, with Abramovich, we always got Champions League. We always got Champions League, except the one season with Conte. We didn't get it that season. But we did so well in cup competitions that it didn't really matter too much if we weren't winning the league. Obviously, we wanted to challenge, but it's not the end of the world. It wasn't the end of the world for us. Now that we're not challenging in domestic competitions as much as we were, i.e., getting knocked out against Newcastle, getting knocked out against Brighton, it makes you focus a lot more on what you're seeing in the league. And Conference League, to a lot of fans, myself included, is kind of irrelevant. It's a great trophy that I'll celebrate. It's not bigger than the Carabao Cup trophy in terms of how difficult it is to win. You could argue it has more prestige, but there's no history with that trophy. It's a brand new one, but it is a European Cup, and I hope that winning that trophy will give us some form of confidence that we can use to hopefully bring some sort of winning mentality into the team, into the manager. Lord knows we need mentality wherever we can fucking find it, because we're not buying ready-made players. We haven't been buying ready-made players. That is certainly something that I would like to see happen. And you can see the gap as well that we've had between all of those teams going as big as 44. But I mean, I don't even think we want to talk about that season. The gap was as many points as we got in the whole season as well. 44 to 45. Race to 40 points was real. 30, 26, 33, 19, 19, 28, 19. So if you're looking at it from that perspective, you would say, well, it's no different than when Abramovich was there over the last 2 years, finishing 19 points behind as well. But how many points does City have and how many points does Liverpool have? If I'm not wrong, City, one of those seasons, they would have had 98 points, and Liverpool are currently on, 83? Slightly different levels to this game. The gap is definitely closer, but not because Liverpool are great, because everybody's slipped up on the top half of the table. And that's why you've got your Forest, your Newcastles, your Villas being able to compete for those positions, because ultimately other teams haven't strengthened as much as they needed to. Chelsea always needed reform in one sense. I do think that going down the route of pursuing long-term success is a good thing. I just never understood why we neglected the short term so much that it's come to bite us heavily. And that's been a big, big problem. Okay, I see what you mean. So you think that the reason James isn't being played as much is so he can play in the Club World Cup? No, I do not think that has anything to do with it, Andrew. I think that the reason that he's not playing is because Caicedo's better inverting, to be honest with you. I think that's the main reason. If James can stay fit, I would go midfield 3 of Enzo, Lavia, Santos rotation, Caicedo, and play Palmer on the wing. So is that presuming... so that's having Caicedo inverting by that logic. Or you're saying if James can stay fit, so you... Yeah. Oh, you're playing Enzo in the 10. Okay, Enzo in the 10, Palmer on the wing, James inverting, Caicedo, Lavia. I see. Esteval, Santos, Asugo, Quenta. Quenda won't be here next season, but the other players will definitely make us stronger, no doubt. Yeah, we have been a cup team for too long, man. Too long. It would be nice to be a good league team as well. Just looking at the table and thinking, oh, we might actually be competing for the title this year. I mean, that would be fun, wouldn't it? But hey, we'll see what happens. Listen, we've got over 100 of you in the building at the moment. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Press that thumbs up. Doesn't cost anything. Helps the channel. And it shows me that you are enjoying the content. And it encourages me to keep making it. So even if you don't want to, it takes a minute. Let's get up to 75 likes on the video. Big up to everyone watching. I appreciate your time. Listen, we'll be back at 1 o'clock tomorrow to go for everything else, all of the latest updates regarding the club. Big up to everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And we move on to the Your Garden game shortly, which is coming on Thursday. All the best, guys.